everybody knows about the 50 Shades of Grey phenomenon. And it's a wonderful fantasy.
My mother knows about the 50 Shades. You know,
Exactly.
That means everybody knows.
And it's very uncomfortable when men come up at my signings and say, "Hey, have you read that 50 Shades? My wife loves it." So don't do that, please. I don't want to know about your sex life.
Why would they?
But, you know, I think it's taken some taboo off talking about that kind of thing because more people are reading it. But I started to think, well, what if Christian really was in real life? Let's take the fantasy element out of it, you know. I think a big part of that is for women, you know, Christian acts like a man so they can act like a woman. He's not going to ever leave his socks for her to pick up or, you know, things like that.
Or get sensitive.
Exactly. So, you know, that is kind of a female fantasy in many ways. But I thought, what if this is an actual person, you know, who's controlling, who stalks her, who, you know, does all this other stuff? What would that look like and what would that feel like?
Really? You were sort of inspired by 50 Shades?
I really was. 50 Shades and Tramadol, which is a pain reliever. I slipped a disc in my back and I started taking this. I don't smoke cigarettes. I've never done drugs. You know, I'm a real Girl Scout about those things. And when I started taking this narcotic, it was like, oh my God, you know, I had fever dreams. And that's when the idea for Pretty Girls came. So I can actually know where the idea came from.
You've never smoked pot?
Never, no.
Well,
I promise.
I believe
promise.
it. Caffeine's a drug.
Exactly,
They're
that's
all
about
drugs.
as hard as I get. And I don't even drink much alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty boring as an author. I'd rather have a cupcake.
Why did that happen? Did you have a history of addiction in your family?
Well, my sister for many years was a drug addict. That certainly had something to do with it. But you know, I'm the Nancy Reagan just say no generation. And in
I am
high
too,
school,
but I didn't listen to her.
well, in high school, I had a couple of friends who smoked pot. One of them for the first time and had a psychotic break. And that's, yeah, and we could walk down the street to Grady Hospital and the doctors would tell you that, you know, probably 3 or 4 times a month they'll get in a teenager who's smoked pot and had a psychotic break. And I've always felt creativity is kind of on the cusp of, not psychosis, but, you know, it's all in that same hemisphere. And I've never wanted to mess with anything that might hinder my creativity or change it or anything like that. So I don't want to alter that.
So those rock stars and those writers just say they, you know, knock back a couple.
You know, if it works for them, it works for them. And, you know, if they can live past the age of 27 doing that, then I think that's great.
Yeah, we've already done the 27, so we're...
But, you know, even F. Scott Fitzgerald, who died from his alcoholism, he never wrote when he was drinking. He stopped cold turkey so that he could write.